The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. And on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. By the way, I just posted a piece about how former President Bill Clinton is supporting the fairness doctrine, so-called. And I said, no. Not a good idea, Mr. Former President. Take a look at that one. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. Our special guest today in just a few moments will be Genevieve Lill. She is Associate Editor at YourTango.com, which is the online presence of Tango Magazine, where if you want to know about love and you want to know about romance, that's the place to go. And why today? Because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, except for those of you who are, I don't know, in New Zealand or Australia, where it already is tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day to you. And speaking of Australia, we are pleased to have Jenny joining us from Australia once again to give us an update before we get to our guest about the bushfires there. I'm told, Jenny, that the authorities today charged a guy with arson in connection with the wildfires. More than 181 people dead, hundreds of homes destroyed. What's the story behind that? And welcome back to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi, Gary. Good morning, everyone. Yes, a man was arrested yesterday. He's of 39 years of age. He was taken out to the crime scene. It was reenacted. He was brought back in. He's been charged with 3 charges, 2 relating to the bushfire and deaths of people, and 1 of child pornography. After that, he was put into, it's like a truck that they transport prisoners in, and taken to a jail in Melbourne for his own safety. The general public is very, very angry, and the police are worried that rioting could break out. That's how angry people are in Australia here with these persons. So he will be held in Melbourne in a jail, and he will attend court next week to go through our legal process. I wouldn't expect this person to ever come out of jail from now on. I really wouldn't. On that note, the newspaper headlines here yesterday in Australia, it said up to 1 in 5 dead in Marysville. Marysville so far was the worst hit town. It has been roadblocked off. It's being treated as a crime scene. Good morning, Jagged. It's been treated as a crime scene. Nobody's been allowed in yet except for the police, CFA and armies. They've been unable to identify people there. There are still bodies in that town. That township had a population of 519 people. Only 12 houses stood, and there's still 100 people missing in that town. So it's going to be a long process there. The man that's been arrested wasn't to blame for those fires. He was to blame for the Churchill fires, which is in another part of the state. As of yesterday afternoon, there were still 15 fires are still burning. The damage, there are over 1,800 houses lost, 450,000 hectares or 1.1 million acres of land have been burnt, and there's 7,000 people are still homeless. That's what the devastation the fires have done. Volunteer firefighters have come from every state of Australia, New Zealand, and also there's some crews in from the USA. Our state premier, John Brumby, he was talking about priority of what has to be built first, and he feels that the schools have to be rebuilt first because they can double up of a night time for meeting places. Which country is this, Greasy? This is the state of Victoria in Australia. He wants to see the schools rebuilt so that the children have somewhere to go. It's the beginning of our school year here. These children have only spent a day or two at school so far due to these fires. The kiddies have to get back to some sort of normality, and they definitely need an education. So, and also on a news report too, in some of the towns, they were showing the electricity crews. They're in there, they're getting out those old burnt power poles, they're getting the power restored to some of these towns. So it's all on the move within 8 days of it all starting. The organisation behind this just must be phenomenal for people at the top. Where do you start? But it's all on the go. We're recovering. Just got to get these fires out, but they've been contained. And the weather is with us. It's much, much cooler. We're not having the high winds. So that's about all for this morning, Gary. I'll see if I can suss out some more information for everybody for next week. And we'll just hope that the men and women are out there get to extinguish these fires, but I doubt if some ever will be. They're just right up in the mountains. You couldn't get a truck in there for love nor money. And they're the ones still burning, but they're contained, and that's the main thing. Mike's all yours, Gary.
Well, Jenny, thanks for another comprehensive report over what's going on in Australia. Again, to recap, they have finally made one arrest of one of the alleged arsonists. He's actually been moved to another part of the country for his own protection, for fear that the jail could be stormed by the populace and that he'd be taken out, like the old Wild West used to be here in the United States. 181 people so far dead, hundreds of homes destroyed. It's just inconceivable to me that somebody would actually start these kinds of fires. When we come back after this short timeout, Genevieve Lill will talk to us about a more upbeat subject, Valentine's Day. You're online with News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
In a world where radio has always been one dimension, it's time to get the full video experience of Doug Stephan's Good Day from Paltalk at DougStephan.com.